Hello and welcome to Total Film's Oscar predictions. I'm Matt Risley, the online editor for Total Film, and I'm joined by deputy editor Sam Ashurst.
Hello.
And content producer Matt Maton.
Hello.
So basically, we're just going to skip through the categories today, the main 6 categories of who we think is going to win, who we actually want to win, and who the bookies' favourites are. So first up, you've got Best Supporting Actress, and the current odds-on favourite for that is Anne Hathaway at 1-66. And then joined in that field, you have Helen Hunt for The Sessions, Sally Field for Lincoln, Amy Adams for The Master, and Jackie Weaver for Silver Linings Playbook. So what is your favourite from those 5?
It's a fairly strong category, but I think Anne Hathaway is sure to win it. My personal favourite is Amy Adams, just purely because I love The Master and I don't think it got enough love at the Oscars this year, but it's Anne Hathaway's.
And what about you, Matt? Which is your favourite?
I'm with the bookies on this one. I think Anne Hathaway will win, and I think she should win in my opinion as well, just because it was just such a kind of impactful performance for such a limited amount of screen time, and just when you sort of take in that sort of one single take shot first thing, the I Dreamed a Dream, I don't think she can be beaten really. And I love Amy Adams too, but her time will come another year, I think.
I mean, there's really no doubt, is it, that it's Anne Hathaway's to win?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Best Supporting Actor, and the bookies' favourite is Tommy Lee Jones for Lincoln. Then you have Christoph Waltz for Django Unchained, Robert De Niro for The Silver Linings Playbook, Philip Seymour Hoffman for The Master, and Alan Arkin for Argo. So again, which one do you reckon is going to win, first of all?
I mean, for me, Christoph Waltz has been taking all the prizes in all the awards for this film. So I think, it would be a bit of a surprise if he doesn't take home the Oscar. But, Tommy Lee Jones is in with a shout, but I think it's probably going to be Christoph's.
I would put my money on Christoph Waltz for Django.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird category this year. I mean, you've got Robert De Niro in there for Silver Linings Playbook, even though he didn't really do a great deal in that film.
No.
You've got Alan Arkin for Argo, who essentially just played Alan Arkin. It is a bit of a weird one, but Waltz is going to waltz away with it.
The next category we've got is Best Actor. So you've got Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln is odds-on favourite at 1-50, Hugh Jackman for Les Mis, Joaquin Phoenix for The Master, Denzel Washington for Flight, and Bradley Cooper for Silver Linings Playbook. So what do we think? Daniel Day-Lewis, is it his to kind of take home?
I think he's going to be pretty much unbeatable because, again, he's won everything in the run-up to it. He is Daniel Day-Lewis, so he pretty much is guaranteed an Oscar for whatever he does. The kind of commitment to the role, the research he did, just the kind of, it is really different to what he's done before as well, and it's a kind of different take on Lincoln. So I reckon this is pretty much the most dead cert of the night for me.
I think if you have like an Oscar score sheet, you pretty much, there's no more boxes you can tick than that, is there? It's kind of a biopic, it's kind of a big US president, Spielberg, and of course Daniel Day-Lewis, who's just ridiculous in everything that he does.
Yeah, I mean, he always goes method, and for this one, the method included texting Sally Field messages in the style of Abraham Lincoln. I'm not sure that that's what went down back then. But yeah, it's impressive. But I mean, for me, Joaquin Phoenix, I would love him to win because I think it's an astonishing performance in The Master, but he did criticise the Oscar process earlier on in the year, so that's probably going to go against him. But yeah, no, it's definitely going to be Day-Lewis.
Next up, we have Best Actress. So you have Jennifer Lawrence is odds on for Silver Linings Playbook. Then you have Emmanuelle Riva for Amour, Jessica Chastain for Zero Dark 30, Naomi Watts for The Impossible, and then Quivanjene Wallace for Beasts of the Southern Wild. So I mean, Quivanjene is out there at 66-1 at the moment. Do you reckon that she has no chance at all?
No, I don't think Quivanjene Wallace will actually win, because I think it's a nice little nod for a nice sort of celebration of a small film that had a big impact. But ultimately, I think, right now she's too young to actually win. I think it would actually almost be unfair on some of the other nominees if she did win. I mean, there's the whole debate over how far was she acting, how far was she kind of captured playing on set. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's really nice for her. She's in the record books as the youngest ever actress nominated for an Oscar, and yeah, I'm sure obviously whatever she does next we'll watch extremely closely.
I think at the other end of even the category, you have obviously Emmanuelle Riva, who is the oldest woman to be nominated, isn't it, for an Oscar?
Yeah, that's right.
And she walked away with a BAFTA the other day, so do you reckon she could steal it from Lawrence?
It's apparently her birthday on Oscar night as well.
Nice.
So.
Triple figures or...
realistically, you know, it is going to be Jennifer Lawrence. She really is sort of one of the big stories of this year, just purely because pretty much as soon as anyone saw that film, they started saying that she's going to win the Oscar, and that story has carried on. You know, she's won so many awards and done so many kooky speeches along the way. So unless, you know, there's a giant upset, I mean, there's a small chance that she's offended people. Like she did a Saturday Night Live skit in which she sort of trash talked the other nominees in her category, and I think some Academy members would frown on that if they'd have stayed up late enough to see it. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be Jennifer Lawrence.
And Jessica Chastain, of course, she got a lot of very early buzz for Zero Dark 30, and now that does seem to be drowned out a little bit by Lawrence.
I mean, a lot of people like her. Yeah, what do you think, Matt?
For me, it's kind of between Jennifer Lawrence and Jessica Chastain for this one. My heart says Jennifer Lawrence, but I think if anyone can compete, it will be Jessica Chastain, just because as Zero Dark 30 hasn't done as well on the awards in general as people maybe expected, and obviously Catherine Bigelow didn't get a director nomination. I think maybe this could be where it kind of scores its big win of the night, but ultimately I'll be saying Jennifer Lawrence.
And then next up we have Best Director. So you have Spielberg in the lead at 1-4, Ang Lee with Life of Pi at 4-1, then David O. Russell for Silver Linings Playbook, Michael Haneke for Amour, and Ben Zeitlin for Beasts of the Southern Wild.
I mean, this is an interesting one because we'll get on to Best Picture in a minute, but it's looking like the film that will win Best Picture doesn't have a director in the Best Director category. So I think it is going to be Spielberg for Lincoln, purely because of his Oscar history. You know, the Academy, again, they love him, and it's a very impressive film that ticks all the boxes.
What do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, well, in this category, I don't really think Michael Haneke will win, because I think Moore's a big award for the night will be foreign language film. That's where it will be celebrated. I don't think it's mainstream enough to take home the director award. Similarly, I think Ben Zeitlin, again, it's a nice pat on the back, nice sort of recognition for a small film that really kind of has done well and got noticed, but it's just not a big enough or an accomplished enough film. I think it's raw, but it's not really Academy Award winning material, I don't think.
Going to say, what about kind of Life of Pi? Because I think from personal experience, that film genuinely kind of, I came away thinking that did things that I'd never seen before. It kind of moved me in a way that I wasn't expecting. Do you reckon Ang Lee could again be a shocker?
I mean, for me, that would be, you know, if I could choose one person in that group, it would be Ang Lee. I think Life of Pi is an astonishing film. It's probably the best 3D film I've seen. It was so immersive, and as an adaptation, it was just a very, very good film. So it would be nice if the Academy would celebrate a film as sort of interesting and in a way radical. But I think they'll play it safe and go with Lincoln, but that would be a nice shock.
And then the final category is Best Film, so it's the biggie. You have Argo is the odds-on at 1-7. Then you have Lincoln, followed by Silver Linings Playbook, Les Mis, Life of Pi, Zero Dark 30, Django Unchained, Amour, and then coming up the rear you've got Beasts of the Southern Wild at 200-1.
Personally, Django Unchained was my favourite by far. I've seen it 4 times now. I love it, but there is no way it's going to win Best Picture. You know, I wish that films like RoboCop would win Best Picture, but it's just not going to happen, is it? So Argo, those odds that you mentioned, the bookies actually call that unbackable odds, in that, you know, you'd have to put so much money down to win such a small amount, no one's going to bother. So it's a testament to the trajectory of that film, how, you know, when the nominees were first announced, everyone was shocked that Affleck, who everyone had predicted to be in the Best Director category, was missing. And it feels a little bit like maybe his fellow directors have rallied together and have voted for him to make a point. I mean, we'll find out on Sunday, but it's looking like it's definitely going to be Argo. But what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think Argo is definitely the front runner, and I'm not surprised that it's got the lowest or highest odds. I'm not sure on that one.
Best odds.
Best odds, yeah. But I mean, I still think there's a couple of films that could potentially upset it. I'd say Lincoln, Life of Pi, the two other main contenders that I think would have a chance of stealing it away from Argo on the night. And for me, I mean, I guess of all the films, when I saw them all, Les Mis, when I came out of that, I sort of went in a bit dubious, but I was totally swept up in it, and I came out thinking, right, that's totally going to sweep the boards of the Oscars. It's going to win in every category it's nominated in. And so I was kind of surprised to see it not really getting a huge amount of love outside the acting categories and not really being sort of favourite apart from Anne Hathaway. So there's still a part of me that thinks maybe that'll be a surprise on the night, and because it was such a big achievement, kind of adapting the stage musical and keeping all the live singing and all that stuff, I reckon it's still got a chance. But yeah, I would say Argo's the one to beat on the night, really.
Here. Okay, well, those are predictions for the Oscars 2013, so we will find out on Sunday exactly what goes down, but thank you very much for listening.
And follow us on Total Film on Twitter for all the Oscar updates, and then check back in on Monday to totalfilm.com for lots of news and features and all that sort of nonsense.
And also some fun Photoshop stuff where we've put Loki into the Oscars. That's actually pretty fun.
Yes.